What if I told you that the bag you saved 3 months for is made from the same materials as something you could buy at a discount retailer? What if the brand name you're wearing, the one that makes you feel expensive, elevated, chosen, is spending more money on its Instagram aesthetic than on the actual fabric touching your skin? Today, we're pulling back the curtain because in the world of women's fashion, perception is a product, and some brands have mastered selling you the idea of luxury while quietly delivering something far less. But not all of them. Some brands actually earn every penny. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which is which. Here's something the fashion industry doesn't want you to think about too carefully. Luxury, as most people experience it, is largely a feeling. It's the weight of a shopping bag, the smoothness of a logo embossed on tissue paper, the way a store smells. Fashion houses have spent decades and billions of dollars engineering that feeling, because the feeling is far cheaper to produce than actual quality. And somewhere along the way, a handful of brands discovered something dangerous. Consumers don't inspect what they trust. If a brand has the right heritage story, the right celebrity ambassador, the right minimalist storefront, most shoppers never stop to ask what's actually inside the garment, what the thread count is, where it was made, how long it'll last. That's the gap we're exploring today. 5 brands that are charging premium prices and delivering something that simply doesn't justify the cost. And 5 brands that have quietly, consistently done the work and actually deserve your loyalty. Let's start with the ones that don't. Brand Year 1. Michael Kors. Michael Kors built an empire on the idea of accessible luxury, jet-set lifestyle, gold hardware, the promise of arriving somewhere expensive. But let's talk about what you're actually buying. The vast majority of Michael Kors handbags, the ones sold in department stores, outlets, and their mainline retail locations, are crafted from what the brand calls signature-coated canvas, or Saffiano leather. What that often means in practice, PVC-coated fabric and heavily treated, corrected-grain leather that's been sanded down, painted over, and stamped with a texture. It's not the supple, full-grain leather that luxury commands, and consumers have noticed. Across forums like Reddit's ER handbags and review platforms, a consistent complaint emerges. Hardware tarnishes within months, stitching unravels at stress points, and the lining deteriorates faster than expected for a bag that can cost $300 to $500. The deeper issue? Michael Kors has leaned heavily into outlet culture. A significant portion of their product line is manufactured specifically for outlet stores, made to a lower standard, but still carrying the brand's prestige signaling. You may think you're getting a deal. You're often getting a product that was never made to the standard the brand's image implies. The jet-set life is real. The product? Frequently, it's economy class dressed in business class branding. Brand number 2. Calvin Klein. Calvin Klein is, without question, one of the most recognizable fashion names on earth. And for decades, the brand sold a vision of effortless American cool. Minimalist, modern, undeniably aspirational. But Calvin Klein, as most consumers know it today, is largely a licensing operation. The brand itself is owned by PVH Corp, and its products, particularly in the contemporary and basics lines, are manufactured across a wide network of third-party factories. Calvin Klein jeans, sold at department stores for $80 to $120, have drawn consistent criticism for their material composition. A substantial number of styles contain high percentages of polyester cotton blends or stretch synthetics, marketed under language that sounds technical and premium, but simply means less cotton, more plastic. The fit quality has also declined notably in reviews over the past decade. Shoppers frequently report inconsistent sizing, seams that split early, and denim that loses its shape after minimal wear. Here's the irony. Calvin Klein's image has never been more carefully managed. The campaigns are flawless. The aesthetic is immaculate. But the $100 jean you're buying is, in many cases, a product born of mass production optimized for margin, not longevity. Brand number 3. Tommy Hilfiger. Women's line. Tommy Hilfiger's women's line carries the full weight of that classic American preppy legacy. The logo alone does a lot of work, and the brand knows it. But here's what frequently gets buried under the nostalgia. Tommy Hilfiger's contemporary women's collection is significantly polyester-heavy. Blouses, dresses, and outerwear that retail for $80 to $200 regularly feature fabric compositions that are 60%, 70%, even 100% polyester. Not as a performance feature, simply as a cost reduction measure. Polyester is not inherently bad. But when a brand charges premium prices and leans on a heritage image built around quality tailoring, the expectation is that the materials match the story being told. Customer reviews across major retailers tell a recurring tale. Garments that pill after a handful of washes, colors that fade faster than expected, and silhouettes that don't hold their structure. For a brand built on the image of classic style, these are products that age poorly. Tommy Hilfiger is not selling you fashion. Increasingly, it's selling you the memory of fashion, and charging accordingly. Brand number 4, Hugo Boss, women's wear. Hugo Boss has always traded on corporate aspiration, power dressing, precision, the suit that means business. And while the men's suiting division has maintained more rigorous standards, the women's line tells a different story. Hugo Boss women's wear, particularly in its Boss women's wear diffusion lines, regularly features suit separates, blazers, and trousers with viscose-heavy or polyester blend constructions. Blazers retailing for $350 to $500 that, under scrutiny, contain significant synthetic content and are manufactured in facilities far removed from the European tailoring houses the brand's image evokes. The brand's marketing is immaculate: strong women, architectural lines, the grammar of success. But consumers who've owned pieces for multiple seasons report pilling on jacket bodies, lining failures, and shoulder padding that distorts after dry cleaning. For a brand that sells itself as the uniform of high performance, that performance doesn't always extend to the garments themselves. Brand number 5, Zara. Positioned as fashion-forward premium, Zara occupies a strange and specific territory. It's not marketed as luxury, but it is increasingly priced like it aspires to be. Pieces that once sat comfortably in the $30 to $50 range now regularly reach $90 to $150, sometimes more. And the brand's aesthetic has become so runway adjacent, so editorial in its presentation, that consumers have begun treating it as a step above fast fashion. It is not. Zara's entire model is built on speed. A design observed on a runway in Milan can be on a Zara hanger within weeks. That speed comes at a material cost. Literally, fabrics are selected for quick production, not durability. Stitching is kept to a pace that prioritizes throughput. Return rates at Zara are notoriously high, and consumer complaints about garments falling apart after minimal wear are among the most common in retail fashion. The tragedy of Zara is that the clothes often look incredible in the store. The styling is world-class. But buying Zara at 2025 prices for its historical quality is a transaction that simply doesn't hold up. Let's pause here. Because this isn't just about 5 bad brands. There's a system at work. The modern fashion economy has mastered what we might call prestige theater. It's the deliberate engineering of status signals, logos, minimalist storefronts, carefully cast campaigns, influencer seeding, that create an emotional shortcut in the consumer's brain. This feels expensive. This must be expensive. This must be good. But somewhere in the last 2 decades, a fundamental decoupling happened. As fast fashion industrialized global manufacturing and drove material costs to the floor, aspirational brands discovered they could maintain the aesthetic of quality while quietly walking away from it. The result is a landscape where the distance between what a brand says it is and what it actually delivers has never been wider. And women, statistically, the primary consumers of fashion globally, bear the disproportionate cost of this illusion. Not just financially, but in time spent returning faulty products, in environmental weight as garments fail and end up discarded, and in the quiet frustration of trusting something that didn't hold up. Here's the good news. Some brands never played this game, or stopped playing it. Let's talk about those. Brand number 1. Totem. Totem is a Swedish brand that almost refuses to advertise itself. No celebrity fronts, no seasonal spectacle. What it delivers instead is obsessively considered construction. Fabrics are primarily natural. Heavy Italian wools, premium cotton, quality silk blends. The brand's trench coats and tailored trousers have become cult pieces, not because of marketing, but because owners report wearing them for years without deterioration. This is a brand investing in the product, not the performance. Brand number 2. APC. French brand APC has built its reputation on raw denim and architectural simplicity, and it has largely honored that reputation. Their denim in particular is frequently cited by fashion insiders as genuinely worth its price point. Selvage construction, quality cotton sourcing, and garments designed to age well rather than simply look new. APC is a brand for people who understand that quality reveals itself over time. Brand number 3. Kuyana's founding philosophy, fewer, better things, is more than a tagline, it's operationally embedded. The brand publishes material sourcing information, uses grade A Peruvian Pima cotton, and has maintained a customer return rate that reflects genuine product satisfaction. Their leather goods use full-grain leather. Their knitwear uses actual cashmere with published grade transparency. In a market full of vague promises, Kuyana's specificity is itself a form of quality signal. Brand number 4. Eileen Fisher. Eileen Fisher has quietly done what most brands only claim, built a system around garment longevity. Their take-back program, Renew, recycles and resells worn Eileen Fisher pieces, which only works if the garments actually survive being worn. And they do. Natural fibers, ethical sourcing certifications, consistent construction standards across decades. This is a brand whose business model is structurally dependent on product durability, a radical alignment of incentives in modern fashion. Brand number 5. Vince is the brand that premium department stores stock when they want something that truly performs at the price. Their cashmere sweaters are among the most consistently praised in the contemporary luxury segment, not because of branding, but because of verified fabric quality and construction that holds through repeated wear. Shoppers report ownership cycles of 5, 6, 7 years. In fast fashion's timeline, that's generational. So how do you protect yourself? How do you walk into a store or open an app and actually know what you're buying? Start with the fabric label. If a garment priced above $100 is more than 60% polyester or other synthetics, and that's not a performance or activewear context, ask yourself what you're actually paying for. Research the construction. Turn garments inside out. Look at seam allowances, lining quality, how buttons are attached. Quality reveals itself in the details brands hope you won't inspect. And understand marketing language. Words like elevated, premium, and luxury-inspired are not quality certifications. They're adjectives. They cost nothing to print. Here's the final thought I want to leave you with. The most powerful thing a fashion consumer can do is simply slow down. The brands that are robbing you blind count on urgency. The limited drop, the sale that ends tonight, the trend that won't wait. Quality brands don't need that pressure because their product makes the case quietly over time. Buy less, demand more, and never let a logo do your thinking for you. Thank you for watching. Leave a comment under this video about what you would like to see next time. Did you find this video valuable? Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more valuable content. See you next time.